Now let's get into Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski. Now that was actually a rematch that I was really looking forward to seeing as well. That was just, I mean, I'm just not going to cut it, you know. I was looking forward to this whole card. You know, I was looking forward to the first one, yes, even the Page one, all the way up to the main event. And even if it wasn't Masvidal, it was still Gilbert Burns, I thought that was going to be an awesome fight. It's still going to be an awesome fight. But, you know, everything was just great to look forward to. I mean, Max Holloway's a legendary fighter in the making. You know, the streak that he was on, you know, is phenomenal. It's just like the whole Jose Aldo thing. When you're fighting at this high level nonstop and you're fighting all these great guys, you know, that's something to respect, man. You know, you're up there with, you know, St. Pierre. You're up there with the, I want to show Anderson Silva's. I'll even give it, you know, to all these other guys. You know, that's such an awesome standard. You know, old school guys like Fedor Emelianenko's and all that. You know, some people are probably like, who? But, you know, I want to talk about that. Like, here we got, you know, a very controversial fight too when it came to the judging system. This one went the decision. I felt like Max Holloway, with all his Zoom sessions, came for the training. I think his whatever he did worked. I don't know what he did. If it was true that he only trained Zoom with no sparring partners, he looked good for at least the first 3 rounds. And that's what I gave it to him. 10-9 round 1, 10-9 round 2, and 10-9 round 3. Obviously, round 4 and 5, I gave it to the champ, Alex Volkanovski. Because he just started turning it on there, and I felt like Max started, just like in the Jose Aldo fight, he started losing that steam. I think that's when maybe the Zoom sessions, I don't know, started like tapering in, and then the other fighter was starting to get his groove on now. The transition, and this is where the controversy was, just like in the other one with the Rose Namajunas fight with Jessica Andrade, it's always that middle round that kind of will teeter. That's when you start seeing where the transition is, right? So, you know, who is it, if you're winning the first 2 rounds, are you starting to see that transition where the other fighters starting to turn it in, or turn it up and start taking control of the fight or not? You know, sometimes you got fights that go back and forth, and they're hard to judge too. That's what we had here. That 3rd round was so hard for some people. I could see like that is I'd hate to be a judge. I can see it. I can see why that one judge or those 2 judges kind of teetered over to the Volkanovski instead of Max Holloway. I can see it. It was such a tough round to judge, but I felt that throughout the whole course, in the way I look at a round, when I'm judging and I'm looking at it, yeah, you should, I kind of perceive the round. Who's taking charge of the first half, the second, and then who takes the second half? Are you finishing strong? Are you not? Who started off strong? Did you lose steam at the end? How much of that round did you actually dominate and control? A lot of that can be played into factors. And I know judges, I'm not looking at the time clocks and all that. No, you don't have to. If you're a seasoned judge, or you're seasoned in the game of fighting, period, because you're a competitor or not, you should kind of have an idea of the pace of the fight and how long it's going. And not only that, you hear the freaking corners yelling the time. It's really that simple. You can hear the corners yell time, a minute left. Now, I'm not saying you should always pay attention to but you're human and you can hear things. And not only that, there is no audience noise there to not even be able to catch that. So that's like a little trick that I've kind of honed in on. You know, some corners are so damn loud and vocal, you hear that some, you know, just sit there and let their fighters get beat up or you know, like Mike Perry's corner, which was his girlfriend. You know, go Mike, you know. But hey, not to worry anything, Mike did his thing. Anyway, back to Max and Alex. You know, there was a lot of good stuff, man. The first 3 rounds, how Max was controlling it, I felt he controlled it. That controversial 3rd round where it could have been either way and everybody was on an uproar, I felt Max was robbed as well. Not just himself, not just Dana White, not just every other fighter that's tweeting or Michael Bisping or whoever is doing the announcements. Something happened. We don't know what the judges see in the end. When you're on that stool and you're just homing in on something, you might, you know, you're human. You might notice something that others don't, you know. So that's where I'm going off, but no excuses on me on my part. You know, the official scoring was 48-47 from 2 judges that went to Alex. And 48-47 that went to Max. I had similar numbers. So that means the one that went for Max gave them the first 3. And Alex the second, the last 2. Because I had a 48-47 for Max as well. But, you know, my opinion didn't matter because it's an unofficial reaction. That's all it is. And there, you know, we'll see next time, you know. We'll see how the development goes. And I don't want to take anything away from Alex or no disrespect to him. You know, he did his thing. He's a great fighter as well. He showed it. That's a tough fight to judge. That 3rd round could have gone to anybody. Anybody. Those are those rounds that just, they're very confusing. And it's very easy for people that are sitting back outside of the ring. Because even those commentators, Dana White, all those people, they're watching in the monitor. They're not looking at the cage like the judges are. Judges are sitting on a stool and they're staring at the thing. So sometimes they don't have a good perspective of things. Whereas Dana White and all these people, they're looking at the camera angles, and you have some people in the back room going, oh, camera 1, camera 2, and they're getting all the best angles, and they're seeing all the stuff that a judge doesn't see. That's why there's 3 judges spread out throughout the corners. And that's what it is. Not making any excuses in that sense, but I could see why they would see that, because it's all about perspectives. When you're up there in that cage, you know, sometimes you gotta move around because the pole's in the way, the stupid cameraman or whatnot. I've had that. So, you know, that's the only thing I can assume that happened. But it is what it is. Just like the great Max says, on to the next, okay?